right, so hopefully this looks familiar if you are in first grade or second grade. You did this project when you were in kindergarten. We are going to do something very similar to this. This is a starting point. So this is the rainbow, the mosaic rainbow that we did in kindergarten. Today, you're going to be taking it a step further, and we're going to continue with the mosaic art form. You're going to need a piece of paper, and I'm going to just use a blue piece of construction paper, and you need some paper strips. So what you could do, or what you could have your mom or dad do, you could take some of the paper that has been sent to you, and you can make some strips using a straight edge, using a ruler. So one of your parents or an older sibling, they can place the ruler down on the paper, draw your straight line, cut those out, and then you will have a bunch of strips. The reason why I want you to concentrate on strips is because it's much easier to make your straight squares, because we are going to be working with squares today. Making straight squares if you already have straight lines in your strip. So what I would do is make sure that you have one piece of paper. It can be copy paper if that's what you have, or if you have a piece of construction paper. It can be of different sizes. I am going to do 8.5 by 11 simply because if it's bigger, you're going to have to fill up that space. So that is going to take you a much longer period of time. So you need to have a piece of paper. Then you need to have a bunch of strips of different colors. It depends on what you want to do. And then you're going to need to have a glue stick and a pair of scissors so you could cut your paper and glue them down to the paper. So go ahead and get those supplies ready, and I will join you at the art table. All right, so my paper is getting my table is getting really messy. That is another thing that happens when you're starting to make mosaics, is that these little paper tiles are going to end up all over the place. Make sure that you clean up. All right, so I am going to draw my plan on a piece of copy paper, but I am actually going to do my real piece of art on black paper, just because I think it'll look really cool with all of the tiles. I think the black will help those colors really kind of pop out. Keep your plan as simple as possible. I even did a couple of practice rounds. So I thought, okay, I'm going to make a flower, and I kept my shapes as simple as possible. I didn't want to do any waves to my petals in my flower because I thought, oh gosh, how am I going to do that with straight edges? So everything that I made was straight. And then I did this little design over here. It's got 3 flowers. Again, this might be a little too much for me to do. I do want to do this rather quickly. I don't want to spend a lifetime on this. So try to keep your design as simple as possible. Go through a few practice rounds and see what you like. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try, maybe I'll just end up making 2 flowers. Maybe one like this, and then maybe just a little one like that. Okay, and then I'll just do a little thing sticking out of that. So that will give me my flower shape. Okay, so that's going to be my plan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black. I don't know if it will show up if I show this to you, but yeah, you can kind of see it. Okay, so that's kind of cool. So I'm making my flower. Maybe I'll make that a little bit more trapezoidal. Oh, that's neat. And then I'll do this flower down here. Okay, that's almost like a triangle. All right, so you can kind of see what it is. I'm going to do green for my stem. I think I'll make one flower a red color. Maybe this one might be a pink color. But I do want to also work on a design in the background. So that's going to take me a little bit of time as well. So your next step is to make your design on your paper. Please do not do what I do. Try to think of something that you really want to do. If you want to do an emoji, that might be cool. If you want to do a character from Minecraft, you can do something like that, or Legos or whatever. Try to make it something that you like. I like flowers, and that's why I chose flowers. If you want to do candy, that would be really cool too. Pick something that's an interesting, fun candy design. Or if you want to do a piece of fruit, like an apple, a banana, something like that, that is up to you. So your next step, make your plan, try to brainstorm, try to do it a couple of times, and then we'll start with the mosaic part. Okay, so your next step is to work on your cutting. So I'm going to cut out my pieces. And if you have different colors of construction paper at home, or if you've got magazine pages, that might be pretty fun too. I like to work with different shapes in mine. I think that that creates a lot of interest just because my colors are kind of limited. So I'm going to first put my glue down. Now remember that with the mosaic, you have to make sure that you put your piece down, and then you need to give yourself a little bit of space between, so you can see the black underneath. If you put it right next to it, that's not really a mosaic. So all of a sudden it looks like you got this really long piece of paper. If you want to do that in another activity, I think that would be pretty neat too, but I really want us to try to concentrate on the art form as it is, as we learn it. Cool. All right. So that's one stem. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do my other stem. And I can do leaves off of this. You know, if you're finding out that your design is rather simple and you want to give yourself a challenge and you want to add some different things to it, feel free. All right, so I just finished my stems. Now I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to start working on one of my flowers. So I'm cutting out my red. And it might be kind of cool. I think I might actually do my flowers, since they are kind of triangular, I might ultimately make it into a triangle shape. I don't know. We're going to see how this goes. Okay. So I'm just putting down my pieces. Remember that the bigger the pieces, the less detail you can have. The smaller the pieces, the more detail you can have. And it just, I think it actually looks way better. It looks more interesting. I think I might save, if you've got like little tiny pieces, you might want to save those pieces for those cracks. Like I said, you end up having a lot of scraps. I might put a triangle there. That might be kind of neat, just to fill it in. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start working on my mosaic, and I'm going to come back when my flowers are all done, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with my background. Okay, so now I am done with my flowers, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start filling in some of my space, and I think I'm going to do a little bit more larger. I'm going to do larger pieces on my grass just because I want to, and I might even like take some triangle shapes. So I'm taking some pieces of paper, and I think I'm just going to cut it in some random triangle shapes. So I have a few of those. So that might look kind of cool. So again, one thing that I really want you to try is I want you just to experiment with different ideas that you have. That's why I don't want to guide you through this lesson and say, oh, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. I really want you to think of your own imagination. I'm kind of going a little bit off of, this is Mosaic, and then I might do some filler over here with the blue sky. I've even had kids add chalk in the past to different spaces in the mosaics. And whenever you change a media, so if you're doing mosaics and then you add some chalk with it, then all of a sudden it's called a mixed media art project. And you can do that too. This is just a starting point. So I want you to really try to go into your creativity, and I want you to see what you can do, different ideas, different things that you can explore. Just have fun. The main thing that I want you guys to always remember is that this is fun. Ooh, I love it. So it's kind of coming cool. So I'm filling in right now. I'm going to start just filling in some of these spaces. And I think I'm even going to put in some of my green because I've got some extra green left. So I'll put that in at the bottom and then I'll start filling it out. So I'm going to work on this and then I'll show you what I come up with at the end. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is my mainly complete mosaic. I think I would, if I were to do some more, I would probably put some more pieces down here to fill it out. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. It's pretty fun. There's a couple of pieces that I think fell off in the process, probably on the floor, in the trash can, or something has happened to them. So it is a messy process. It's a fun process, though. I love puzzles. I love jigsaw puzzles. And this mosaic activity really reminded me of how puzzles work and how you tend to put things together in certain ways. So as I was cutting and gluing, I just could really kind of figure it out how I wanted to put the different shapes together and how they were going to work together. And I love the process of making art. I want to make sure that everyone who is in my art class, you focus in on the process. Let's not necessarily think of the product, which is your finished piece, which might be beautiful and you might want to hang it up on the wall. But I really want you to think about what you learn. I want you to think about what is happening as you're doing your project. If you're changing your idea, that is fantastic. Have a plan and then change that plan depending on what happens. That is one of the reasons why we have art class. So again, have great fun with this. Please do not rush through. Your mosaic should take a long time to do. Put it aside, keep your scraps of paper out. When you have a free moment, when you're watching TV, just go ahead and take your mosaic back out and continue to work on it. All right. And again, have a great day.